Borderlands 4 is less than a month away, and just like everybody else who is a Borderlands fan, I've been replaying through some of the Borderlands games with friends to show them, to try to hype them up, right? Because I want to play Borderlands 4 with people. I'm like, yo, dude, yo, you gotta play Borderlands, you gotta play Borderlands. I played through Borderlands 3 with a friend. I'm like, nah, man, you just gotta make it past the Calypso twins. You gotta make it a handsome jackpot. You gotta make it to the handsome jackpot DLC. I swear to God, the game gets better. But today we're gonna be looking at, once again, another skill tree. Let me move my, yeah, that's my B, that's my B. We're gonna be looking at another skill tree of Rafa, the Vault Hunter, who I'm most excited to play. Now, that doesn't mean that Vex or Amon look bad, because I'll be honest with you, this is one of the first Borderlands where I truly feel like every single character has multiple builds that interest. I feel like they're gonna interest a lot of people. Right now, I'm just hypering on Rafa. I'm sure Harlow's also gonna play amazing. Amon looks crazy with, you know, with the axes. Vex looks crazy. But right now we're gonna be talking about Apophis Lance, which is one of the skills that I feel like has been getting a lot of flack. Ding. Borderlands 3 joke. But no, Apophis Lance is a very unique skill, and the reason why I really wanted to revisit this skill is because it might be a skill that starts off very slow, and as you continue down the tree, you're just action skill cooldown, action skill up, crazy amount of DPS out of your main gun right in your right hand. So, of course, if you like this build, please comment down below. Comment down below who you're excited to play, what build you're excited to play. I'm very curious. I love hearing from everybody. So let's get started on Apophis Lance. Now, very similar to the last video, I will be mostly talking about the skills that I'm choosing, most possibly glossing over other skills on why I'm maybe not choosing it. If you want to look at all the skills, I will put the link in the description down below to Maxroll. That's exactly, you know, that is the website that I'm on, maxroll.gg. Use the tab over here. You'll find the Borderlands 4. And then if you want to go to it, you know what? I'll do a little thingy, right? So Maxroll, and the way you do it is you'll click on new profile over here. Select character. They have all three characters. And then, you know, so if you want to go to Vex, you click Vex. And if you want to, you know, once again, go to Rafa, you click Rafa. Then you can click from the three skill trees here. And if you want to read the skill tree itself, you would come over here to select action skill, then choose the skill that you want, and then you're able to read it. So, I mean, there's a quick little tutorial. I love Maxroll. I used Maxroll a lot back when I played Diablo 4 and Last Epoch. Very, very useful website. So Apophis Lance, right? Let's get, what is Apophis Lance, Roy? You've been saying Apophis Lance like crazy. What is it? Equip Rafa's Apophis Lance, an offhand arm cannon that decreases Rafa's gun handling, but allows him to fire piercing shock ordnance blast. Any unused charges when Apophis Lance ends are converted into action skill cooldown. Press M2 to fire a piercing ordnance blast at enemies and consume a charge, or hold M2 to charge Rafa's Apophis Lance for increased damage, projectile size, and projectile speed at the cost of more charges. Duration 24 seconds, cooldown 18 seconds, charges 3, damage 157. You don't really have to worry about damage, right? Because that's all, you know, going to change when you level up and get, you know, different, yeah, I don't know if there's like, I don't know what the correct term is yet, like the artifacts or the class mods, all that jazz. So yeah, so it is a skill that's up for 24 seconds and down for 18 seconds. If you don't, you can just hold it, right? Like, you don't have to use it, you can just pop it and just like not, you know, just not shoot anything for 24 seconds. And you'll just have this Apophis Lance in your offhand, which will activate your overdrive. And once again, overdrive is Rafa's passive. Every Vault Hunter is like this one passive. I hope that they add more, but as of now, I do like this aspect. When Rafa activates an action skill, he enters overdrive. On action skill is active, overdrive does not decrease while overdrive is active, gain increased movement speed and deal increased damage with all sources. Damage plus 10%, movement speed plus 25%. So, which means, so this is always like a little caveat, and I feel like they definitely take this into account when they made Rafa's skill trees, is that realistically every single action skill has a 10% increased damage. So whatever crazy build you do with any of his skill trees, you can always just be like, and 10% more damage on top of that. So let's get into it. So the way that I'm going to try to build my Apophis Lance Rafa as of now, right? And then, you know, when the game comes out and we actually put hands on it and we see how these percentages go up, and class mods and like all this other jazz and certain guns in the game, you know, this build of course can change, but as of now, I'm trying to go for a Apophis Lance spam with gun spam at the same damn time. So I want to be shooting my Apophis Lance and having it come up in 2 seconds, and then at the same time I want to make my gun go burr on my right hand. And the way that I do that, which is the first, I think this is an amazing skill, by the way. Now, I don't know if you would want to pick this up first, but I guess you would kind of have to, because the other one is really just reload speed. And nobody wants to just start speccing in a reload speed. It's much better to get this ammo regen. I really feel like right here, they could have did maybe something else. I feel like, you know, Peacemaker cannons, you have increased gun damage. Arc knives, you have increased gun damage. And Apophis Lance, they're like, there's none of that, right? No increased skill damage, no nothing. So I'm personally starting off with 5 points in Rafa regenerates ammo while overdrive is active. And as we know, so overdrive is 12 seconds and this is 24 seconds if you let the timer run out, obviously, right? If you allow the timer to run out. Well, I'll put that back on. And so, which means you're gonna have, if you don't shoot any Apophis Lance, you're gonna have ammo regen for 36 seconds. Now, if this is going up by 0.5%, this is looking like it's capping at 2.5%. A second, hopefully it does. There's no increment, right? But I assume it's per second. They're looking at 2.5 ammo regen per second, which is very useful, right? Maybe not as much as you know, as what Moe's has in Borderlands 3. They probably want to tone that down a bit to see if you can reload, but that is very useful. But by putting these 5 points here, you are ready to unlock these augments. If you're new, once again, the way the augments work is these do not cost skill points, and once you make it to this tier, so the second tier, you're able to input either augment. So you can go with, whenever Rafa consumes a charge, he gains increased action skill cooldown rate. The bonus for every charge consumed, which is 25% per charge consumed, duration 8 seconds. Or you can get Apophis Lance gains additional charge. Additionally, when Rafa consumes 4 or more charges, gain increased action skill potency. Action skill potency 100%. So this is gonna be doing 100% more damage. Now this is tough in the sense of, when you look at Apophis Lance, it says when you don't use a charge, you'll get action skill cooldown, and we don't quite know exactly what that cooldown is. So by getting more charges and not using it, does this make it, if you just don't use any Apophis Lance and you have this on, you'll get 100% cooldown? But at the same time, this is giving you 25% per charge, so this is giving you a 75% action skill cooldown, which is, what's the math? 4, 8, 12. It's like you'll get like, what is that? Like 13 seconds off, like 12, 13 seconds off. If my math is correct. My math's not correct. What would that be? What's 18 divided by? Is 18 not divisible by 4? Right? 4.5 times 3, 13.5. I am, dude. Dude, I got it, man. I got it up here. Yeah, so you'll be roughly on a like 5-second cooldown, which means that overdrive will be up for 6 more my bad. 7 more seconds, and then you can pop your Apophis Lance, which then I assume would refill overdrive. So by having this one on, personally, I believe you'll be able to keep overdrive up forever, which then means you will forever be regaining ammo. So that seems, once again, right, we're making our gun in our right hand go burr, and it looks like we can bring up our Apophis Lance pretty quickly. So overall, right, like very, very important. Now these next skills, this is where it's going to get situational. Whenever Rafa kills an enemy, he gains increased ordnance cooldown rate, and this links. So in order to get this skill, you have to get this skill, and this skill is whenever Rafa throws a grenade, he gains increased action skill cooldown rate. So, you know, once again, so we're already down to like a 75% cooldown rate. And then now you can make it here, so now you can get maybe up to 100% cooldown rate. I'm not entirely sure how that math is gonna check out. Like, is it doing 7% of the 100 per se, or is it doing 7% of the 25%? Right? So is this gonna be 7% of 6 seconds, which is, you know, like less than a second, and then you have to like throw a bunch of, like, I don't know like how that math is gonna check out. But I mean, if it does check out in the 100%, then, you know, then you would have to throw like 3 or 4 grenades, and then you would have your Apophis Lance back, which is very nice. The other skill over here, which if you see a line, they have to be connected. Rafa gains increased reload speed, and whenever Rafa reloads his current gun, he gains increased cooldown rate. This effect stacks 4% per stack, 100 stacks. So I feel like that's just better for cooldown rate. So I'm gonna go with these 5 personally. You probably don't have to. Like, maybe you can only put, not like in a bad way, but maybe you only need to put 2 points in this, like 8% per stack, and then you can get 800%. Like if maybe even 1, right? Like, I feel like if 4% per stack, 100 stacks, and there's no downs. I guess it's duration 8 seconds, so it's how fast can you reload in 8 seconds, and that's what I'm going to be talking about in this next one, which is the first shot in the fully loaded weapon magazine gains increased damage 8%, and, you know, by Borderlands logic, like, this should be going up to 40%. Is if you have like a Jacobs Hellwalker, right? We all know what I'm talking about, like the Jacobs double barrel shotty. You're just bink, 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 reload, bink, 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 bink. Like, I really feel like that would be very good for this skill. Now, I don't know any of the order weapons or the scrapper. I forgot what the other like the newer, like the other faction. It's not like COV, right? It's like that type of weapon. I don't know if those weapons have any like one-shot magazines. Obviously, we could be looking at a rocket launcher of some sort, but I think that's more ordnance, right? Rocket launchers are no longer like normal weapons. So, yeah. So I'm thinking like Jacob's shoddy type situation where you're just spamming it, and then you're obviously getting all these reloads because you know you have really good reload speed, and then you're able to just get your Apophis Lance up, and you're regenerating ammo, which is like tough. So right, and that's also in the sense of this and this seem counterintuitive. Like, if you're gonna go with the Jacob shoddy, maybe you don't need the regen ammo. But also, yeah, I think it has to be reloaded. Like, I don't think if you have like 3 bullets and then like you regen back up to 3, if it's gonna be enhanced again. So yeah, so this skill, like I said, like this is why this Apophis Lance seems like there's many different ways just in this up here on how to play it. So you always have to be careful with that. This one is very important. Rafa gains increased weapon handling with all weapons and action skills while overdrive is active. The longer overdrive has been active, the greater the bonus. So this is what's very important, is that we already discussed that we might be able to keep overdrive up forever because we're going to be regenning our action skill continuously, which then will keep overdrive up. And with this, I believe that if you get like a Vladov sniper, right? We all know what I'm talking about. Vladov assault rifle, just high fire rate weapon with big old bloom, right? Even maybe possibly like some SMGs. Your handling is you're gonna be shooting in a laser with some of these weapons because Apophis lance is constantly gonna be up. And this might be one of the best. I don't know why this is not down here. This skill should be down here by how good it is. Whenever Rafa activates or re-triggers an action skill, his gun consumes no ammo. Duration, 2 seconds. 2 seconds. So this is what's also very important, is that if this consumes no ammo, when you fully reload your magazine and then you pop Apophis lance, is that first shot that has increased damage, is that gonna work? Is that gonna work? I don't know. I don't know. And let me move my webcam up a little bit higher just in case you want to read it yourself, right? His gun consumes no ammunition. And once again, we're popping Apophis lance pretty regularly. Now, we could get more action skill. I mean, we already have action skill cooldown, like right here. So it's very tough on like how you want to do this per se. But right now, the way that I'm thinking of it is I want assault rifle. Magazine size like might not even matter, but I want high fire rate. I want really high fire rate, and I want to be able just to shoot everybody. So that's I think that's very important. I think that's where I'm gonna leave this. It's possible maybe I'll you know, you can always come back and you know, maybe I'm like, you know what, I do want first impression, or maybe I do want health regen, activating an action skill, right? Like, because you know, health regen is very important. Now personally, I'm going to be going down this right tree, and this one is Apophis lance gains increased projectile size, projectile speed, and number of chains. I don't know if I'm going to rock that over this, because once again, I really do like just like the you know, the action skill cooldown. So maybe I'll rock it depending on you know, later artifacts, if I can get like increased action skill cooldown another way, or if we're finding out that this is just you already have 100% action skill cooldown rate plus then some, because this will go up to 400%. So maybe like that would be good enough, and then now I don't need this extra 25, and I can use this or use this. And once again, when you make it to this tier, you can choose any of these though. So if I want, I can choose this one even if I'm going down this tree. I can choose this one even if I'm going down this tree. That's what I really like. Now the capstone's down here, you're gonna have to make it down there. But once you make it to this tier, you can choose any of the augments, which is very nice. So this one is called Jacques. Whenever Rafa damages an enemy with a skill, he gains a stack of Jacques. For each stack of Jacques, he gains increased overdrive bonuses. When overdrive ends, lose all stacks. So, I mean, that's 5% bonus, 20 stacks, 100% bonus. So now overdrive is doing 20% more damage and 25%, or now 50% increase movement speed. Which is why I want just to keep my overdrive up at all times, right? Because you're missing out on big boy damage, which is very, very, very nice. So this one is interesting in the sense of Rafa gains increased weapon handling with weapons and action skills while overdrive is active, plus 12% weapon handling. But this one You get increased weapon handling. The longer overdrive has been active, the greater the bonus, and this is going to go up to 5% per second. Which, and let's say this caps out at, what the hell is 12 times 5? I should know this. 24, 48, 60. This is going to be 60%. And, you know, 60 divided by 5. So 12 seconds. So it's either you can get, just a flat 60, or you wait 12 seconds and then you have 60 and then some, right? So like this seems very weird. Like maybe you can, once you make it to enough skill points down here, you can maybe get rid of this if you don't mind, just the flat 60. Maybe you get rid of some of these skill points, right? And then you put a little bit into a health regen. Maybe you put 2 into there, right? And then now you can get a 60. Plus, you'll get your 2%, and then you'll be at 100% per se. Like you don't need infinite scaling. But yeah, I don't know. It seems very weird that this is another skill, and they're both overdrive skills. You know, like that seems kind of sussy. This one, mate. So in order to get mate, you have to get Jacques. Mate, when overdrive ends, convert all Jacques stacks into mate stacks. Gain increased action skill cooldown rate for every stack of mate. Once Rafa action skill is readied, lose all stacks of mate. So 3% per stack, which will go up to 15% per stack, max of 20 stacks. So I mean, that's quite a bit of action skill cooldown. So maybe then we can finally get rid of this, right? Maybe we go down to here because we got all these stacks of mate, which is going to be basically always, oh, excuse me, because we're always going to kind of, like, I feel like we're always going to have, ooh, I'm so burpy. Sorry, excuse me. I'm so sorry. I feel like we're always going to have 20 stacks of Jacques because our overdrive is, like, we're always going to be hitting people with Apophis Lance. And now we can go here, hit more people with Apophis Lance because now we got the chain. And now that we got the chain, we'll get the 20 stacks. Then here, then we'll get 60% cooldown. And maybe we'll do 2 points there. And now we'll get, what would that be? 6% times 20. Why am I bad? It should just be 3% times 20 times 2. 120%. So maybe then we can, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like once again, I feel like the skill tree really flips on itself the later you get. They're like, hey, here's some like normal ways of getting like action skill cooldown. And then down here, it's like, okay, now here's all of your action skill cooldown. Okay, here's all of your just straight up just weapon handling. So that seems very interesting. Overdrive skill, Rafa gains increased fire rate and increased reload speed while overdrive is active. I feel like this is just very, very important. We're looking at 15% increase fire rate with another 25% reload speed. So we're at 45% increased reload speed. That seems very good. So, right, we're reloading, we're shooting, we're using, like, I feel like we're just constantly, as of now, like, we're constantly just keeping our, like, our gun up, which is very important. Then we make it to the capstone. Oh, no, but, well, let's do down here. Whenever Rafa damages an enemy with an action skill, he gains the chance to deal that damage again. I feel like this is good. A 20% chance of doing a lot of action skill damage, which then allows you to get your stacks of Jacques better, faster, possibly, which means you'll always just have stacks of mate, which is, I don't know. I feel like I'm not. Let me take that out. I feel like I'm on the right track, right? If you think I'm going loco, let me know. And finally, we get Project Gorgon. Apophis lance weapon is replaced with incendiary laser that pierces. It pierces enemies, and you can press and hold to deal increased damage and chain to more enemies as it consumes arges. So there's two different ways of looking at this, which is this gains increased projectile size and speed, and chains +3. You can make this chain already by holding it down, and it consumes more charges. So are we going back to this though? Now that we're down here, Are we increasing the potency of our Gorgon 100% while also possibly doing that damage twice? Am I crazy? Or are we coming back here? Like, I feel like these two augments, like, are we coming back here to where now we want Gorgon up all the time because now we're piercing and now we're chaining? We don't need extra and increased number of chains unless maybe we want, like, dude, it's so, Apophis Lance is like, it's the dark horse. It really is the dark horse. Now, there are several other skills in this skill tree that I would get. I feel like Brain Dump, overdrive skill, Rafa gains increased critical hit chance with his guns while overdrive is active. So you get 25% just flat increased critical hit chance, which is something like, maybe, I don't know the critical hit chances yet, because per se, like, let's say you're just like hitting people like in their crit spots, you don't need a flat 25%. That could be useful. When Rafa gains increased status effect chance and also gains further increased shock chance. So I'm not sure if the shock chance is also separate. Like, I don't know if this is stacking twice with shock, if you know what I mean. So like, this is a 10% status effect chance and then a 20% shock. But if you're using a shotgun, now it's like a 30% increase. Like, I'm not sure how that works. But then again, right, we are doing an incendiary laser that pierces and chains. So if we want to burn them, right, I mean, that seems like a really good skill. If you're going a little bit more in on you wanting your Apophis Lance to do more damage, I feel like this is definitely it. Overdrive skill, Rafa gains increased gun damage while overdrive is active. This bonus is doubled while Rafa is charging Apophis Lance. Once again, like, I think like that's really good, right? Like, I put, like, that's 30% increased weapon damage and 60% increased weapon damage if you're charging it. Now, I don't know if you can charge with Gorgon. That's something I don't know, right? So I don't know if this is working with Gorgon, because obviously, you know, this is in the tree where you're going to be shooting, you're going to be Project Basilisk, right? Where you're shooting this corrosive blob, so you're just charging it and holding it. So I mean, that seems very interesting. So, I mean, like, yeah, so I don't know if that's a good one just yet, because we have to see exactly how Jock and Mate work with Gorgon. Like, let's say you quickly just shoot Gorgon out a bunch of times, and then you get your 20 stacks of Jock, and then now you just hold down your Gorgon for the last, like, possibly 16 seconds. You're just holding down Gorgon, so that way you can just get 16 seconds of 60% increase gun damage that's infinite, and you're regenerating ammo, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, so that seems very important. But looking at some of these other action skills, right, like especially Peacebreaker cannons, you can just get like a nice 25% damage increase here without having to charge. So, you know, so maybe you don't need to do this because you can just get 25% here. When Rafa critically hits an enemy, action skill is restored. Like, you can always go down this path. With arc knives, you can just get more movement speed. You can just get a little bit of gun damage here. I feel like if you were going down the corrosive blob aspect, you can come down to here and get increased bonus corrosive damage and midnight oil. Like, I'm still at 11 skill points, and I'm like, what do I want to pop these skill points in? You know, like, I really, and that's like not a bad thing. But you're like, man, like, okay, maybe I'll take, when Rafa, maybe I'll do this, and then after sliding, Rafa's action skill deals bonus shock damage and has increased critical hit damage. So now I can slide, and now my Gorgon's going to be doing, you know, crazy stuff. Or I can come down to here, get rid of Gorgon, come and then get Raiju instead, because I have enough skill points, and then now I can come down to, you know, put 1 point in the, you know, you know, there's so many ways, man. There's so many ways, and that's what I'm very excited with Borderlands 3, and this is with every character. I'm looking at these skill trees. I'm like, oh, okay, oh wow, okay. What if I, oh damn, what if, oh, you know, like you know, maybe not with Arcanines, probably like with more Priestbreaker cannons, right? Like, okay, I can get more action skill. Duration is restored, right? I can crit people. I can restore my Apophis Lance, but I don't know like how charges works with Apophis Lance. But then again, the longer my action skill is, like, you know, like it's so crazy. I love it. So right now, and I'll admit, maybe I just go with like an extra 12% increase here, and you know, an extra 30% here. Then now I have 1 extra skill point. Whenever Rafa kills an enemy, he gains, and then I'll be like, oh, let me just get like 9% faster grenades. So yeah, so Rafa is a very, very interesting character, and I truly hope that you experiment on yourself on Max Roll GG. Like I said, all of the other characters are here. I think Amon might have gotten updated because of his skill tree was first like in Chinese, but now like it's not in Chinese. So very important. So thank you everybody for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. Hopefully I see you all in the Borderlands 4 content. I'm super, super excited to play it. Hopefully you are as well. Once again, comment down below what Vault Hunter you are going to play, what build you're going to play. Comment down below. Maybe you're like, hey, maybe you should, for Apophis Lands, you really are sleeping on the middle tree, possibly. Gain increased ordnance damage after reloading his gun, because this is like ordnance damage is piercing shock ordnance blast. So like if you want to go more Apophis Lance damage, not gun damage, you can go on middle tree. Like, oh my god, the things are endless. Thank you everybody. I greatly appreciate it. I hope to see you all again in the next video. See ya.